Namaskar and hello. Welcome to your favorite Shridevi Classes YouTube channel where we inculcate interest and confidence in science and engineering education by clarity of subject and right understanding. Today in our playlist class 12th physics, we'll study electric field intensity and potential produced by a uniformly charged circular ring, and we will study that at the center of ring resultant electric field is zero, and when we move on its axis for smaller axial distance, electric field first increases, attain maximum value and then decreases, and for very far away position from ring, the ring charge acts like a point charge acting from center and produce inverse square relation electric field. Whereas for potential calculation at center or on axial position, all periphery charge of ring have identical distance from test position, so we can use summation Q technique to find out potentials. Let's start. On a uniformly charged circular ring of radius r, total charge Q got uniform distribution and charge per unit length equal to lambda, and this uniform line charge density on circular ring can be obtained as total charge divided by circular periphery 2 pi r of this ring. We have to find out electric field at its center, and to find out that electric field we consider two elemental length diametrically opposite to each other, and this brown elemental length dl got a charge lambda dl that could be treated as a point charge, and for this point charge lambda dl at a distance r from it, electric field contribution d is k lambda dl over r square. Similarly, this blue elemental length produce electric field radial outward from this positive charge section of the same magnitude as that is produced by this brown elemental length, and these two electric components of diametrical opposite identical elemental length are equal and opposite will cancel each other. Similarly, we can have other diametrical opposite pair of lengths which produce resultant electric field equal and opposite to cancel each other effect, and due to symmetry, every section on ring got a diametrical opposite identical section of same charge, same distance, and two electric field equal and opposite will cancel each other. So the resultant field at the center of such uniformly charged ring becomes zero. Electric field of elemental charged length is a vector quantity, and diametrical opposite charged elemental length will produce equal and opposite electric field to produce resultant electric field zero at the center. But electric potential is a scalar quantity, and length section of all positively charged length section produce positive potential contribution here, and we can make simple summation of all those individual potential contributions. This elemental length dl having charge lambda dl produce elemental potential k lambda dl over r at r distance position of center from periphery. Now if we brought k and r common, this lambda dl is charge of elemental length, and total potential when obtained by integration will produce total charge on circular periphery length, and that is capital Q. So the potential of center position from total capital Q charge of circular ring at r radius distance is kq by r, and this is always true when charge is symmetrically distributed from observation position with identical amount of distance. Then to find out resultant electric field contribution, when summation is done, we can sum total charge at one position, and at common r distance potential can be obtained as kq by r. Potential of circular ring at center can also be obtained as summation or integration of elemental potential contribution, and elemental potential contribution of dl length having charge lambda dl is k lambda dl over r, and here in this geometry arc divided by radius is elemental angle subtained by this elemental arc at center d theta, and k lambda being constant when brought out, this become summation of elemental angle subtended by elemental section on arc, and when we integrate such angle contribution all around the periphery, total angular measurement of circular periphery become 2 pi, and when k is replaced as 1 upon 4 pi epsilon, this 2 pi when cancel out will produce resultant electric field lambda upon 2 epsilon, which is free from radius of circular ring. So if a ring got constant uniform line charge density, then whatsoever its radius, the amount of potential at its center is always lambda upon 2 epsilon, and that's also true if we double radius of this circular ring with same identical line charge density, double periphery of double radius will have double charge, and double double charge at double radius distance of center produce identical potential. Similar potential calculation technique can be used to find out potential on axis of this uniformly charged circular ring, which is normal to its circular plane and passing through origin. So at axial distance x at an observation point P, we can find out total resultant electric potential of this circular ring by considering a small elemental length dl having lambda dl point charge nature, and from this circular periphery observation point got a small r distance, which can be obtained as Pythagoras calculation of radius of circular ring, and axial distance of observation position from center as square root of capital R square plus x square. So at small r distance, this lambda dl point charge produce k lambda dl over r potential, where small r is Pythagoras calculation of radius of ring and axial distance. Now the total potential can be obtained by integration of elemental contribution, and when we represent elemental potential contribution of lambda dl point charge at r distance of observation position P from periphery k lambda dl over r, here k and small r both are constant, will brought out as all circular periphery elemental length will have identical small r distance from this observation position P. So k and r when constant brought out, this become integration of charge of elemental length, and summation of elemental length is periphery of circular ring and charge on circular periphery is q. So we can say the potential at center is kq divided by small r, or small r can be represented as square root of capital R square plus x square. When there exists a symmetrical charge distribution and observation position got identical distance from all charge positions, then all charge is summed up as a total charge, and potential of this total charge at common distance can be obtained as k capital Q over distance. And as we see this relation, we can very well say that for x is equal to 0 at center of circular ring, k q over capital R is the maximum value of potential, and as we move away from center on its axis, electric potential decreases as x increases. For x equal to R, the potential at observation position become kq by root 2r, that means 1 by root 2 or 70.7% of central potential. Similarly, for x is equal to 2r, this potential becomes 1 by root 5 of central point potential. So when x is given in terms of r, we can compare potential of that axial position and potential of center quite easily. Electric field of an uniform charged circular ring at its center is always zero, as diametrical opposite elemental length charges produce equal and opposite electric field contributions, which results in zero value for this circular ring section. But the same is not true for axial position, which are perpendicular to circular ring plane and away from center. To find out electric field at this axial point P at a distance x from center, we can consider an elemental length on periphery having lambda dl elemental charge treated as point charge, and at small r distance from this periphery at this observation position, electric contribution radially outward from this positively charged ring d can be written as k lambda dl over small r square, where small r is distance of circular ring periphery from observation position, and in terms of radius of ring and axial distance, this small r distance is represented as this relation. If we consider another diametrical opposite elemental length dl charge lambda dl, and its electric contribution at observation position P is again radial outward for this positive charge, and if we take resolve component of these two electric contributions of diametrical opposite elemental charge along a plane which is parallel to ring and normal to axis, then these normal component of this bottom elemental length charge and upper elemental length charge are equal and opposite, will get cancel out. And similarly, all elemental length charge on ring got a diametrical opposite elemental length charge, and the normal component of those electric contribution at observation position P comes as equal and opposite to cancel each other effects. So there won't be any electric contribution along this normal to axis direction. Whereas if we consider axial component of these electric field contribution, then we'll find that axial component of this bottom elemental length charge and this upper elemental length charge both comes in the same direction, so they get simply added up. So we can say the total total resultant electric field of this circular uniformly charged ring at its axial position is just summation of axial component, and one axial component dx of elemental charge d is d cos theta, and summation of all these d cos theta will result as resultant electric field of this ring on axis. So elemental length dl charge lambda dl at small r distance from its peripheral position on an observation point P, which is at axial distance x from center of circular ring, is d, and magnitude of this d is k lambda dl over r square, where r is distance of elemental length charge treated as point charge from observation position, and the axial component of this electric field dx is e cos theta, where theta is this angle between radial direction of electric field contribution and axial direction, as shown in this diagram as theta here. Now the total electric field is integration of all axial component. Now in this axial component expression, if we consider different elemental length charge over this periphery, then all elemental length got identical small r distance from observation position. So this small r is a constant. Similarly, all radial electric field will form a surface position of cone, and all conical edges makes identical angle with axis of cone theta. So this cos theta is also a constant. So k lambda cos theta and r square all being constant brought out of integration, and this become integration of entire length, and lambda and total length is total amount of charge, and cos theta in this triangular geometry is base upon hypotenuse x upon r. So we can say resultant electric field is kq x over r cube, where small r is square root of capital R square plus x square. Here capital R is radius of ring, and the small x is axial distance of observation position from center. So we can also write electric field as kqx divided by r square plus x square raised to power 3 by 2. Now here x comes both in numerator and denominator. So this variation of electric field on axis with variation of x got an interesting relationship. Variation of axial electric field with axial distance, denoted by this yellow highlight, is approximated for two limiting conditions. One very close to this center position, when axial distance x is very small compared to radius of ring, then in that case this summation of r square and x square can be treated approximately equal to r square, as x square is very small compared to r square for x smaller than capital R, and in that case this electric field become kqx over r cube, or directly proportional to x. So as we move away from center on axis for small axial distance, electric field sharply increases in a linear fashion. This increase of electric field with axial distance is strange but true. As we move away from center on axis, the elemental electric contribution decreases, but at the same time its angle with axial direction also decreases. So resultant electric contribution dx along axis increases as we move away, and summation of axial component produce resultant electric field, and that increases when we increase axial distance for x very small compared to capital R. Now for a very far away position, when x is very large compared to radius of ring, this ring could be treated as a point charge acting from center, as r square plus x square become approximately equal to x square, and when this denominator xq is simplified with numerator x, it result as kq upon x square, which is just identical that total q charge acts from this center, and at x distance electric field become kq over x square, or which obeys inverse square relationship with distance. So this electric contribution increases initially for axial displacement, attain a peak, then decreases, and for very far away position obey inverse square relationship. Now at maxima value of electric field intensity, first derivative of electric field intensity with axial distance becomes 0, and when we differentiate this relation with x and equate it to 0, we got a condition x is equal to r by root 2. So at axial distance x equal to r by root 2, electric field become maximum, and that maximum value of electric field can be obtained when we substitute x is equal to r by root 2 in this expression, and when we solve, the maximum value of electric field comes as 2 divided by 3 root 3 kq over r square. If a uniformly charged circle is not a complete ring but is a semicircular ring, then we can find out electric field intensity and potential at its center. Here again, total charge capital Q is uniformly distributed over this semicircular periphery with uniform line charge density lambda coulomb per meter, and total charge Q divided by semicircle periphery pi r ratio gives me value of line charge density on this circular ring. Let's take a small elemental length having charge lambda dl. So at its center position it produces electric field K lambda dl over r. Now this elemental potential contribution can be written as K lambda d theta. Here d theta is arc dl by radius, small angle subtended by elemental arc section at center. Now the total potential can be calculated by integration, and when K lambda are constant brought out, then this become summation of angle subtended by semicircular section at its center position, or integration of all elemental contribution, and a semicircle arc will produce total angle pi at center. So summation of d theta become pi. In place of K, when we substitute 1 upon 4 pi epsilon, 1 pi get cancel out, and this become lambda upon 4 epsilon, which is half of lambda upon 2 epsilon, which is electric potential of complete ring. So half ring produce half potential, and this potential lambda upon 4 epsilon of this semicircle ring is also independent of radius of ring. So for same amount of line charge density, whatsoever radius of semicircle ring, it will produce same amount of potential lambda upon 4 epsilon at its center. Now the potential of semicircle ring can also be obtained as integration of elemental potential contribution, and elemental potential contribution is K lambda dl over r. Now here K and r, when brought out of integration as constant, lambda dl is a elemental charge of small section, and summation of lambda dl or integration of lambda dl is charge of entire semicircle, and entire semicircle got a total charge capital Q. Then potential of total capital Q charge at r distance center position is kq by r. That's also true when charge is symmetrically distributed and observation position got identical distance from all charge position, then we can sum all charge, and potential of that summation charge at common distance becomes kq by capital R. Electric field of an uniformly charged complete ring at its center was 0, but for semicircle ring the electric field is directed at mid perpendicular bisector directions, and this direction is called as axis of this semicircle ring on its plane. In this axial direction, the resultant electric contribution can be obtained by considering symmetry of this circular ring. We consider two elemental length dl at identical distance from center position, and with line charge density lambda, the lambda dl charge can be treated as point charge, and this point charge lambda dl at this r radius distance at center position produce radial electric field by this charge, and lambda dl this charge produce its radial electric field d along this direction, and both got identical magnitude. Now the resolved component of these two electric contribution normal to this axis dn comes as equal and opposite and cancel out, but the component of these two electric contribution along this axial line, which is perpendicular mid bisector of this semicircle ring, comes in the same direction. So we can say the resultant electric contribution of this semicircle ring is summation of all axial component, and one axial component is d cos theta, where theta is this angle, and to find out resultant electric field we have to make summation by integration of these elemental axial component, and axial component is de k lambda dl over r square cos theta. Now here dl upon r, arc by radius, is elemental angle subtended by elemental length at center d theta, and the remaining lambda and r with k are constant brought out of integration, and this become integration of cos theta with respect to d theta, and cos theta integration formula is sin theta, and in limiting case from one edge of periphery to other edge of semicircular periphery, this theta angle is plus 90 and minus 90, and when we take limits this become sin 90 minus sin minus 90. Sin 90 is 1, sin minus 90 is minus 1, and 1 minus minus 1 become 2, 2 and the electric field become 2 k lambda over r, and this electric contribution is identical to electric field of infinite length line charge of uniform charge density lambda at a perpendicular mid section distance capital R. So we can say a semicircular ring of pi r length at its central point or r distance position produce identical electric field as produced by an infinite long straight length of same line charge density at same perpendicular distance. We hope now you can understand electric field intensity of a uniformly charged circular ring at its center is 0, and on its axis for small axial distance electric field first increases, and for very far away positions electric field obeys inverse square relationship, and a semicircular ring at its center produce 2k lambda over r electric field which is identical to electric field of infinite line charge at same perpendicular distance at middle positions. And for potential calculations we can use symmetry of charge distribution where observation point got identical distance from all charges, so we can make summation of all charges. Our other videos of same playlist class 12th physics will enhance your subject competency and ensure your success in examinations. We end here only and meet you again with similar type of informative video. Thank you very much.